Math Course 1, Middle School Math, Unit 2, Multiplying and Dividing Fractions, Topic 3, Dividing Fractions. Yes, make sure you have your student workbook handy and pause these videos at the end of each image. Simplifying before multiplying. So simplify first, multiply or divide next. Simplifying, simply reducing fractions before multiplying or dividing, can make the numbers smaller and the work easier. Why? Because smaller numbers are easier to work with. Because fewer steps means less chance of mistakes. And finally, because it saves time. So simplify first to solve the smart way. All right. Simplify first, then divide the fraction. Dividing fractions. Let's go. So we're going to learn a shortcut that makes dividing fractions much easier. The shortcut is to simplify first and then divide. Let's use the example 2/3 divided into 4/6. 4/6. First, let's look at what happens if we do not simplify, because it's important for us to see that. Okay? Let's see. If we don't simplify, we start with 2/3 divided into 4/6. Now remember the rule, keep the first fraction. When we are dividing fractions, keep the first fraction. Change division to multiplication. And then flip the second fraction. So our problem becomes 2/3 times 6/4. It becomes 2/3 times 6/4 because we have the reciprocal. We flipped it, okay? The reciprocal of 4/6 is 6/4. All right? So now we're going to multiply 2 times 6, which gives us 12. And then we're going to multiply 3 times 4, which gives us 12. What is the answer? 1. Excellent job. Excellent job. Now, let's use the easier method for some people. Okay? Step 1, simplify first. So look at the second fraction, 4/6. Let's look at that. Both 4 and 6 can be divided by 2. So 4 divided into 2 equals 2. 6 divided into 2 equals 3. All right? So 4/6 becomes 2/3. Now our problem is 2/3 divided into 2/3. Okay? So next, step 2, keep, change, flip. Remember that. Keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction, 2/3, change division to multiplication, flip the second fraction. 2/3 becomes 3/2. It becomes an improper fraction at this point. 3/2. Now we have 2/3 times 3/2. Step 3, multiply. So multiply the numerators. 2 times 3 equals 6. And then multiply your denominators. 3 times 2 equals 6. So our answer is 6/6, which is pretty much 1. It's 1 whole. Correct? Yes, excellent job. So both methods give the same answer, but simplifying first uses smaller numbers and makes the work much easier for some people. But for some people, they see it as way too much extra steps because they already understand it without simplifying. So if that is you, explain it to your parent or whomever is teaching you. They should be listening to these videos with you because this is not something that you just do by yourself. Okay? So both methods give the same answer, but simplifying first for some people uses smaller numbers and makes the work much easier. So always remember, before dividing fractions, check to see if you can simplify it first. Then use the rule. Keep the first fraction, change the division sign to multiplication, flip the second fraction, multiply and simplify if needed. Simplifying first saves time and makes the math easier for most people, or some people, not most, but some, okay? So pause this image, pause this video, and discuss it if you need further help, or pause it so that you could do the activity. Now remember, we're learning how to divide fractions. Therefore, we will keep going over this for a little while because it's important for us to repeat. Repeat, repeat, repeat. That's what makes it easier for us to remember. Okay? So, how to divide fractions. There is an easy rule that helps us every time. What's the rule? Keep, change, flip, multiply, simplify if you need to. Keep, change, flip, multiply. Simplify if you need to. Again, keep, change, flip, multiply. Simplify if you need to. Okay? So let's use the example 3/4 divided into 2/5. Step 1, keep the first fraction. Leave the first fraction exactly the way it is. 3/4 stays 3/4. 3/4 stays 3/4. Step 2, change the division sign. Change the division sign into a multiplication sign. Now we have 3/4 times 2/5. So then step 3, flip the second fraction. Flip the second fraction by switching the numerator and the denominator, the reciprocals. We're going to do the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 2/5 becomes 5/2. Now our problem is 3 times 4 times 5/2. Step 4, multiply straight across. Multiply the numerators. 3 times 5 equals 15. And then multiply the denominators. 4 times 2 equals 8. So this gives us 15/8. Let's not forget, 15/8 is called a improper fraction. So number 5, step 5, simplify or change that improper fraction to a mixed number. Because 15 is larger than 8, this is an improper fraction. It's not the top number is bigger than the small number. That's not proper. That's improper. It's an improper fraction. So now we're going to divide. 15 divided into 8 equals 1 with a remainder of 7. Remember, to make the improper fraction a mixed number, we're going to divide 8 into 15. 8 can only go into 15 one time. And then we have 7 left over. And remember, we keep the 8, we keep the denominator, and we just put it with with the new answer. So 1 7/8 becomes the final answer. All right, so let's remember, when dividing fractions, always use the rule. Keep the first fraction. Change the division sign to multiplication. Flip the second fraction. Multiply straight across and simplify your answer if possible. This easy rule works every time. Excellent job, Creative Learning Adventures. I'm so proud of you guys. So let's look at this. Another way to divide fractions. Invert and multiply. What? Invert and multiply. So we're going to learn another way to divide the fractions. This method is called the invert and multiply method. It is the same method we learned before, but now we will focus on the words invert and multiply. Let's use the example 3/4 divided into 2/5. Invert the second fraction. To invert a fraction means to turn it upside down. 2/5 becomes 5/2. The first fraction stays the same. Remember, invert reciprocal, invert reciprocal, invert reciprocal. Just flip it, okay? So 2/5 becomes 5/2. The first fraction stays the same. Now we have 3/4 divided into 5/2. Step 2. Change the division sign to multiplication. So replace the division sign with a multiplication sign. Now our problem is 3/4 times 5/2. So step 3, multiply the fractions. Multiply the numerators. What is that? 3 times 5 equals 15. Now we're going to multiply the denominators. 4 times 2 equals 8. So now we have 15/8. What is that for? Simplify. We're going to simplify your answer if possible. We see 15/8. 15/8 can definitely be simplified, right? At the least, we're going to have to change that improper fraction into a mixed number. So what are we doing again? We're dividing. Excellent job. 8 into 15. Right. We're dividing. So when dividing fractions, invert the second fraction, change the division sign to multiplication, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, simplify if needed, and change an improper fraction into a mixed number when appropriate. Just remember, invert and multiply. 15/8 became 1 7/8. Excellent job. See? It's not that hard. It's actually pretty easy. Take a minute and pat yourself on the back because you've done a great job. I am so proud of you. Thank you for joining Creative Learning Adventures. We'll see you next time. Excellent job. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.